My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, Moses Ituama will be facing Filip Hrgovic next. If you put everything together, there's no other option for Moses Ituama next unless the WBO decides to try to ruin a rotation line that's going down right now. I don't see no other thing happening right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Filip Hrgovic just absolutely dominated Dave Allen. Gave Dave Allen no chance at all to be able to beat Filip. He went in there and outclassed him, made Dave Allen look like a complete amateur that did not deserve to be in the ring. But the fans loved it. The fans absolutely cheered Dave Allen on. And the storyline behind and after the fight was, it doesn't matter that Dave Allen went in there and lost the way he did, forcing Jamie Moore to stop the fight because he was getting beat up so bad. It wasn't like Dave Allen was getting put to sleep, but he was about to be put to sleep. That's why Jamie Moore stopped that fight. If you think that the fight was stopped too early, hell nah, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Allen was getting dominated and was never going to have a chance in that fight. Ladies and gentlemen, we knew last week Filip Hrgovic came out with a statement and said it's in his contract that he will be facing Moses Ituama next in August. We didn't know the details behind that until the post-fight interview today, which confirms the only reason why they signed Filip Hrgovic to Queensberry once again was because they put Moses Ituama in that contract. And the contract states that, yes, we'll sign you, Filip Hrgovic, but we will be able to match you up against Moses Ituama at any time, and you have to take the fight. Filip Hrgovic signs the contract. He was signed to Queensberry to be fed to another Queensberry fighter that they're trying to build up. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the perfect moment for that fight to happen. There's one reason why you signed Filip Hrgovic, who isn't the biggest name when it comes to casual boxing fans, but is respected as a heavyweight, as a top-class heavyweight from us hardcore boxing fans. Filip Hrgovic was signed to be fed to Moses Ituama. Moses Ituama is ranked number 1 by the WBA in the WBA rankings and also ranked number 1 in the WBO rankings. Filip Hrgovic is ranked number 2 in the WBO rankings. The WBA is complying with the rotation that they got going down right now with Alexander Usyk and is behind the line, behind the WBC, with the WBC getting ready to mandate Ajit Kabayal, the interim champion, to face Alexander Usyk next after the Rico Verhoeven fight. Then follows the WBA. So the WBA ain't doing nothing, at least at the moment, with Moses Ituama. And if they do, it ain't happening until 2027 because, first of all, Usyk has to get through Rico Verhoeven. Hopefully there ain't no injuries or nothing like that, prolonging the fight. He got to get a little vacation, then the training camp, and then the fight. And then by then, we'll be at the end of 2026, ladies and gentlemen. And the WBA ain't going to do nothing until 2027. Now, the WBO was announcing that they were going to mandate a fight between Moses Ituama and the winners out of Fabio Worley and Daniel Dubois. Now, they haven't did that yet. But Daniel Dubois, who just beat Fabio Worley, took his WBO heavyweight title, is going to be having a rematch as Fabio Worley. And Frank Warren confirmed this at the post-fight interview of that absolutely great war between the two heavyweights, but has announced that Fabio Worley has activated his rematch clause with Daniel Dubois. So there's no point in the WBO mandating at this moment and forcing a fight with Moses Ituama and Daniel Dubois. There's a rematch clause installed in their contract. Fabio's getting the automatic rematch. So since we have time, the only reason why you signed Filip Hrgovic to Queensberry was to feed him to Moses Ituama. Filip has already said that they're going to fight in August. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. You're not going to feed Filip Hrgovic to some other big name fighter where you're not going to sell out a lot of tickets, or You're not setting up one of your other fighters to build them up even bigger. And that's what they're doing here. Queensberry, Frank Warren signed all these heavyweight fighters. And yes, he has to put some of them up against each other. Losing on one half, but winning on another half. And by feeding Filip to Moses Ituama, while Filip is on this hiatus riding the wave, ladies and gentlemen, he just beat Dave Allen in dominating fashion. The world looks at him as a top-class fighter. It ain't smart to throw Filip Hrgovic, a fighter that you signed for this specific reason, to put him in against another tough fighter, to risk him losing, and now the Moses Ituama fight isn't as big. You paid Filip Hrgovic knowing that eventually you'd be able to set him up with that Moses Ituama fight. I think the time is now. I think that fight happens next. I think Danny the Ball's busy. I think the WBA is complying with the roundtable that's going down within them and their heavyweight division. I think Moses Ituama needs another big name fighter, another big fight where he could win. Filip has only lost one time, and that was to Danny the Ball by way of doctor. So Moses going in there and being the first man to actually stop him, my goodness, would just absolutely propel Moses Ituama. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe this is the next fight for Moses Ituama, Filip Hrgovic. And with that post-fight interview confirming that that's the reason why we signed you to Queensberry was to fight Moses, bruh, this is the time. This is the moment. Let me know what you guys think of that breakdown. My prediction, Moses Ituama versus, my goodness, Filip El Animal Hrgovic in August. I'm out.